Sorry I was a minute late. The girl who's supposed to work the front desk didn't show up this morning, so I had to call somebody else to come in. But I guess a minute late's better than never, huh? How are all of you doing this morning? Good, I hope. Thought I was going to be later than 1 minute, so I did good. I actually didn't do too good. I drove way too fast on the way home. I think at one point I hit 120. Probably shouldn't be doing that. Good morning, Mr. Michael, Mr. Pete, Mr. B. Shady, Miss Brown Sugar. Hope you're doing well this morning. Man, I'm always Mr. On Time, and I hate being late. So I do apologize. I didn't have time to grab my coffee, so let me go grab it real quick. I'll be right back. All right, I am back. So, now that I'm settled with coffee, let's get this thing going. In my front pocket last night, I had my Bestek Taipan. And in my back pocket, I have my Yan Knives Chevron. I told y'all yesterday I was probably going to carry those, and I did. Let me see here. We have got to do a drawing for the winners today. Huh. That needs to happen for sure. Um, sorry, let's see. All right. Sorry, I was getting a little settled. I had stuff all over the place. What links are you showing this morning? Good morning, Mr. Cliff. Let's go look at Mr. B. Shady's links. Um, 229 Blue Label. Nice. Yeah, Chevron is a cool looking knife. What's the other one? Another Chevron? Oh, no, another Chavez. I said Chevron because I was reading what Pete typed. Good morning, Audioitis. I I'm going to wait for a few more people to get in here before we spin the wheel. I did take another knife with me to work on, and that was my Recon Tonto, I guess is what it is. And I got it polished up pretty good, and I did put an edge on it. But that leads me to talking to Pete about polishing. Morning, Mr. Knives Are Life. Morning, Sever. Morning, Waylon. So I found an old video that illustrates my point perfectly. But let me show you a couple things here, Pete. You were asking about polishing. And I suggested a few things. And Mr. Wayland suggested a few things. And I wanted to show you a few things. So, right here, I still think you need to get some of these Scotch-Brite pads. They work great with the Dremel. These are 120 and they go all the way up to 800. But these are just Scotch-Brite, so they're not really like sandpaper. And they leave an awesome finish, and it doesn't make it too shiny, especially at the 120. The 120 is what I used on the blade of the Recon Tonto. But the ones Waylon suggested to you are these with the threaded screw on. Let me show you a couple things here. So, they make a couple different kinds of the ones that go in a drill. And then they make ones that are specifically for a Dremel. So let me show you a couple things here. All right. Dang it, I know I've got one in here. There's some flits. There's some other little things. All right. So right here is the one that Waylon said you should use. And these have the threaded pads on them. And these pads are super durable and will work up for a very long time. The only problem is the adapter that comes with them is mainly used for a 1/4-inch chuck, like on a drill. They do make adapter pieces that convert it down to a Dremel, but the problem with these is the head of this is so big that when it's out at the end of your Dremel, if you turn up the speed, it can mess it up and bend it. And that's actually what happened to me one day on stream. And then they make other ones that are made specifically for the Dremel. Which are the ones, dang it, I just dropped. Which are the ones that I linked. And they're like this. And then they have one that's in between that has a bigger head, kind of like this one. But also this has the bigger adapter. But the pads for the ones that come with this one have Velcro. And they have a little bit of give. In fact, I just dropped one on the floor that, here we go. So these are the pads I would suggest you get. They have a big thick part right here. And when you put them on the Velcro and go to polishing, they can form around stuff really good. and you can use the edge. But these ones for the Dremel, in my opinion, I like going faster than slower. So if you want to use a drill, you can get these with the threaded screw-on parts. And these are super durable and will last you forever. But if you want to use a Dremel, get this littler one instead of this big one and try it out. And the good thing about these is you can also use them for these little sandpaper discs of different grits. And you can take off the pad and put on a piece of sandpaper. And these don't really have that because these screw on. So all around, and let me show you the video I found that illustrates the problem with the bigger ones and using a Dremel. So I went back and found this live, and listen what I say here and listen what happens.
Oh.
It's pretty funny, actually.
Heck, I might polish that too.
So, as you can see, I've got the adapter piece on the Dremel and the one that Waylon showed. And when I turn on the Dremel...
Now, do y'all think that I should, what angle should I attempt to do this at? Should I come straight down on it? Should I use the edge of it? What speed should I use? Oh my God.
So you see when I just turned that on, since it was on a high speed, it totally bent that rod.
Something just crazy just happened there. I don't know if y'all saw that, but look what it did. It spun and bent the little rod. I guess because it was out of balance. I had it down on a very low setting. That was pretty crazy. Wow. Don't know why it did that. But we might not be doing much polishing today at all. I might need to, wow. Really bent the hell out of that thing. Look at that.
Look at Pete's chat back then. Spindle bent.
Maybe it was off. Maybe it was off to begin with, and when I turned it on, it just exaggerated the thing. It did.
So anyway, I figured out how to. I found my other one.
Small.
And
for a second, but
I used my drill for a little while. And now when I went up, and then I think I found, no, I guess I used my drill the whole show.
Is hey,
but as you can see now, when I do the mirror polishing, I'm a firm believer in using a Dremel as much as possible because a drill gets heavy in your hand. But you can see here,
splits.
I'm using that little one.
And we got a nice mirror polish gonna happen.
You can't see, of course, because I don't have it in the box very good.
All this,
but that's the littler one.
Without the back it off with, I've got it. All I got is a dirty towel.
There you go. You can see which one I'm
using. I got that one that I had on there.
Anyway, there's the diamond paste.
But it'll all even out to what do, you know. But you can see, I mean, you can see very clearly that that red lettering really does look good in there. Let's get the little letters so you can see.
Anyway,
how nice.
You got a few choices now.
Finish is from just that little bit of time.
And they also make for a super, if you want to polish it up really good, they make these other ones that are like fluffy and they're really soft, and they go on these same Velcro ones like this. And you can really polish stuff up with these. These are a little long. I've never actually used them. But for like polishing, you could polish whatever. You get the idea. And then also, I was told by somebody who does it for a living to get some of these, and they make these little polishing balls that go right in the Dremel. These little cotton balls. Uh, and they also make, yeah, I was told to get those for the finer detail parts and these. So these are nylon brushes that go in the Dremel. And you can put polish on these and you can get down in between like milling and stuff, but they're made out of nylon, but you can get polish to adhere to them. And they got a few different shapes that come with these, but you can really get down in there and do some polishing with these. Good morning, Christopher. Good morning, Ill Knife. Good morning, Andrew. Anybody else hop in? I think that's about it. But these little Scotch-Brite pads in a 120 or a 180 would be great too. Just any regular Dremel is all, it from 5,000 to 30,000 RPMs, something like that. Oh, I always quit when I get close to being finished. And those Scotch-Brite ones last forever, mister. Those Scotch-Brite ones really do last a long time. And I took a bunch of the 120s with me to work last night. And as you can see, I've still got one on there and I've been using the heck out of it. But whenever they get down to about, I threw a used one in here. Where is it? Whenever they get down to about that close, I stop and quit using it. But you can go through and do a whole knife blade with just one of them. But yeah, I always leave a little bit on there because I'm worried about it too. I'll tell you what, I've bought, this will be my fourth Dremel. And I've got the Dremel brand ones last 10 times as long as like the Harbor Freight ones and the cheap ones. I've got a Harbor Freight one. The brushes burn out on the Harbor Freight one super quick. So don't get a Harbor Freight one. Spend the money and get a real Dremel. Find one on sale. Morning, Nick T. All right, I think we probably got enough people to go ahead and do this spin. Let's see here. Let me get Wheel of Names brought up. Wheel of Names. Episode 500 giveaway. All right. I don't want to have to deal with keeping going up to Harbor Freight to replace one myself. All right, let's spin this wheel and see who wins. Well, that didn't work. What happened? Uh, Hold on just a second. All right, here we go. Should come up. I'm gonna go over here and shuffle a little bit. Oh, dang it. I'm shuffling. All right, let's spin. There was 22 entries. I kind of did the cutoff at midnight last night. Well, about 3 in the morning. Mike John. Thomas McDonald. Congratulations, Thomas McDonald. I will go ahead and spend a couple more for backups. I'll shuffle it a few times here, hide it, and we'll spin again. For a couple of backup winners. Hopefully, Mr. Thomas McDonald will be able to be gotten a hold of. Wicked Dream Designs. No, Waylon. Waylon is the second place. I'll go ahead and remove him and shuffle it a few more times and spin it for a third base backup. Cliff or laid off Pete? David? Maybe David. All right. So, congratulations to the winners. Yes, to answer your question, that is a Taipan. Taipan. I don't know. I don't really know how to get a hold of Thomas McDonald other than, I guess, leaving a comment on a video or something on his channel. I don't even know. I don't know anything about him except his YouTube name. I've also got a will made up for my members. But how do I go about finding? They have 24 hours to claim it. They don't have to be present. I don't ever say about them having to be present. I always give them at least 24 hours. Yeah, let me see here. Wonder if his name... I do different things each time, Nick, as far as what it takes to enter. You weren't on the wheel? What do you mean? Am I going to have to respin? Well, that means I'd have to give two people. Hold on. Let's check this out, because if that's true, I want to make sure. All right, let's see. I opened the wheel for the members, but let me open the giveaway one again. Here's all the names. When did you enter? What video did you comment on? Do you remember which one you commented on? We can just go check. Sort by newest. I thought I was pretty good about getting everybody. All right, so you didn't comment on 496. 497. Let's see. Sort by newest. Not on 497. 498. Sort by newest. Bellows Forge commented on that one. I need knives. Yep. That was 498, I guess. 499. Mike John, Wicked Dream Designs, Lazy Boy Mitchell, I Need Knives, Brown Sugar, Waylon, Cliff, Laid Off Pete. Unless it was yesterday on episode 500, I don't see it. Sort by newest. Ill Knives, Mitchell, Mike John, Mr. I Need Knives, Andrew, Cliff, Waylon, Pete. Yeah, I don't see it on those last 5 videos. Oh. Yeah, I tried to explain it and say, don't go to the, the live chat doesn't count. Well, sorry, Nick. Yeah, the comments in the live chat, they should count towards comments, but they don't really count towards a comment according to YouTube. Y'all want me to go ahead and spin for the... Yeah, I can show the names again. They're right there. There's an alphabetical order. Michael, where is yours? Which one did you comment on? I don't see yours on 500. Hold on, let me make sure. Are you thinking you commented too? I don't think I saw yours on any of them either. But I'll show the names again here in just a second. But let me make sure that Michael's name wasn't on here. William, Cliff, Brown Sugar. Yeah, I don't see it so far, Michael. William, I Need Knives, Cliff, Ranger, Mitchell, Andrew, Brown Sugar, Cliff. Yeah, I don't see it. Yours, Michael, but maybe you knew that. Maybe you knew yours wasn't in here. You were just wanting to see the list again. Yeah, man, I don't see yours on there either, but there's the list. Andrew, Bellows Forge, Brown Sugar, Cliff, Core Armory, David, Gatita, I Need Knives, Ill Knives, Knives Are Life, Laid Off Pete, Lazy Boy, McRanger, Mike John, Mitchell, Mr. Nick Martino, Thomas McDonald, Want to Know Why Knives, Waylon, Wicked Dream Designs, and William. Y'all can't see it. It was on 496. Yeah, I just went through them all. For some reason, Michael, it doesn't show your comments on 496. It shows Mr. Want to Know Why Knives, I Need Knives, Brown Sugar, Cliff, McRanger, Thomas McDonald, William, Andrew, Core Armory, Brown Sugar, Ill Knives, Nick Martino, Mitchell, Pete, Waylon, David, and Knives Are Life. Yeah, I don't see you on there, Michael. I don't know what happened. Sorry. I try to be as fair as I can. Some people went and commented on 495 because that's the day that I announced it. And I'm curious if you did it on 495 maybe. No, I don't see you on 495 either. I didn't see it, man. I try to be fair. Let me open the giveaway one again. Y'all want to go ahead and spin it? Might as well. All right. So I've got 20 members right now. I'm going to shuffle them a few times. I'm going to close the panel and I'm going to spin. Make it full screen again. So this is for the members giveaway. Andrew, you got to pay me for shipping again. My God, how lucky can one person get? You got to help me out on some shipping again. Well, congratulations, Andrew. You won back-to-back members giveaway. You must have good karma or something. I guess I'll spin for a backup in case Andrew's not here. I don't think that's going to happen, but I've never won a giveaway either, so don't feel bad. Fuchs is another one that I hadn't seen in a long time. Yeah, Michael, replies. I went off straight comments. I couldn't go through all the replies. Be shady. Yeah, I guess you do have to enter to win. Somebody told me Fuchs was taking a break. Be shady. Are you the one that told me that? Yeah, I did. I did say leave a comment. Don't reply to a comment, but but if I'd have seen it, I probably would have added you. Uh, what are you talking about? Your watch history? Is somebody else going back and using your account somewhere, Waylon? Oh, I wanted to show y'all this weird knife. Y'all know we like new locking mechanisms and such. This one is a uh hold on. This one is a folding gravity knife. So yeah, it's a folding gravity knife. Gotta watch that again. So he opens it up, and then the gravity part slides down. And then to close it, you have to slide the gravity part up and then fold it closed. That is definitely odd. Oh, we got a new Mr. knife. Mr. Sever. A Fury. Yep. All their knives look good. But man, the lock bar access looks great on that knife. So you can get it with a disc or a stud. Man, I really like Mr. stuff. That lock bar access looks great though. You can see it better on the black one. It's got a wire clip for all you haters. It reminds me a lot of the Aeon that I want. Eon. Aeon. I don't know why it reminds me of that one. Whoops. Think the shape. Hold on. Let's bring them both up. Yeah, doesn't look exactly like it. I guess they both, all his knives look kind of rounded off. I mean, like, a lot of them do have that classic shape. Uh, a live showed up every day for 2 weeks straight. What the heck? It's got Vanex also, huh? Deep carry titanium fake wire clip. Oh, so it's actually milled titanium, or it's titanium bar. Yeah, it is milled. Wow, that's super cool too. What do you think about that, Waylon? Milled titanium clip, but very minimal. Yeah, I love the Ranger Maids. Also, the OBJ 1 and 2. There's the 1. I love that knife. I like the OBJ 2 also. Mid-Tech folders. OBJ 1 and OBJ 2. Mr. John bought one. The OBJ 2 is a little different, but it's super nice as well. Oh, did I ask you that, Mr. Mister? Well, you are Mr. Mister, but you're not the Mr. Mister. I love those blades. I love that one, just a full flat grind all the way across the whole knife. Like, super clean. Oh, Co-Bunny, you just reminded me. I sent a link to where AliExpress has the RMJ and Strider collab with Monkey Frag. So there's the AliExpress version for $188, and the real deal is Monkey's Edge. Um, and it comes with all the stuff. Let's see. Thought they had a picture with all the stuff. Maybe not. That's a pretty cool little hatchet. It's a pry bar too at the end, because it's called, the BS axe stands for um, the breacher's tool. So that wedge at the end, but they're $700 or, well, that's not it. Or $575, but they got the copies of them, including the box. Pretty interesting. And so I went on and looked, and I typed in RMJ axe, and they don't have the pipe tomahawk, but they do have some of their other versions. I think this one, let's see, is not that one. I think it's this one. So again, $575. It might be a little, oh no, that's a bigger one. This is it right here, I think. I don't know, but it's crazy to me that they have the giant big boxes and the sheaths and everything. But they had quite a few different versions. They had some of the smaller ones. This butcher bird and the commons. That's pretty wild. There's the one Pete was talking about. 6mm thick blade, huh? I used the 120 grit on this one last night, Pete, and that's kind of what it got it up to. Not a real shiny. And I didn't get all the scratches out because this one had some pretty bad ones, but that's what the 120 Scotch Brite did. It gave it a good shiny, but not a mirror shine. But I'm curious how thick the blade stock is on this one. .4. It's probably started life as 5mm. But I did put an edge on this one last night, and it is fairly sharp. Which paste? Yeah, that stuff is fine. That's probably the best ones to go with right now because the company that I buy from only has the 80,000 grit. But the kind I use is this company. They have the 3,000 and the 80,000 right now. But they make it in dang it. They sent me a bunch of extra bottles. I need to send you one of these. Let me see the other one you sent. Yeah, and you can pick any grit you want there. The ones I use are this company. And they sent me 2 extra 15,000 grit ones. So I've got an extra one of those. I've got a 3,000 grit.
And I got their 80,000 grit. I actually don't know where the 3,000 grit went to. It should be over here somewhere. Got stuff all over the table over here. This is the kind I use, but it's just diamond infused paste, and it doesn't take much at all. This is the old bottle I've had forever, and I still haven't used even half of it. And I've mirror polished quite a few things with it. But any of those diamond pastes will work fine, including the ones in the little tubes. Yeah, you can pay for shipping, and I'll send you this brand new one. They kept getting the box. Yeah, you pay me the $7 for shipping, and I think these have more in them than those ones you were looking at. Let me see what I can't tell what the actual size is, but 2.25 ounces with the container. I don't know that means a hill of beans. 1.76 ounce, 50 grams. Yeah, that's what it says. And this says 50 grams. So yours is a better deal. And they have all the different grits. You need to get something small, like the 360 grit. And then, like maybe a 1500 and a you know, those cool little aluminum blocks, are pretty dang cool. They got those little tiny ones right here. These little sanding blocks that hold sandpaper. Let me send you the link to these. Check these out for $18. You get all three of them. You would average the two together, to answer your question, mister. You would have 95,000 divided by 2, 47.5. You'd have 47,500 grit. That's what you'd have. All right. Did I have some other links? What is this link? Yeah, those wood ones are cool. Justin Pauly, it's a Yan Knives Chevron. Crane's Cutlery. If you want to find one easily, go to Crane's Cutlery. I guess I should throw a few more knives out here just to have something on screen. These are all still laying around from yesterday. I didn't put
some of these up. Yeah, I like the fact of the metal being harder and wood kind of gives a little bit. And a flat piece of aluminum is not going to scratch on a steel blade. Hardness matters. But yeah, I like the fact that it's metal instead of wood. I don't even know where mine's at the moment. Mine is around here somewhere. Yeah, you have to flatten them out, like Michael said. You have to use a glass sheet or a granite countertop. You have to flatten them out. Custom modded taipan. What was modded about it? Um, that's not it. I was trying to find it possibly on Reddit. That's just a regular one. Yeah, this is the post I kept seeing this guy post that made me want to get one even worse. There's the mini. I think B Shady wants one of those. Uh, yeah, I was asking him too, Andrew. Yeah, I've got to get an Isurus. I've got to still get one of those. And I hate their website. Oh my God. That's the dark wash. Yeah, I've still got to get one of those. Cracked ice on blade and blurple handle. How did you do who did the cracked ice? Uh, Treatment. Fellow Redditor. Are they showing the new ones on Instagram? That's the Nitro Glide. Oh yeah, you can put stuff on their paws that doesn't taste good to them. Let's see how to get your dog to stop chewing on paws. Bittering spray. Rocco and Roxy No Chew Extreme Bitter Spray. So that's what No Chew Extreme Bitter Spray. So they make some bad tasting stuff. So there you go. So there's some stuff called No Chew. I had a dog that I used to breed Jack Russells, and I had one that they have that at PetSmart though. Oh, 4P Design. We've looked at that before. See if I can scan down through here and see a Taipan. What is that? There it is. That's your exact knife. There's the cracked ice around on the flats. That's pretty awesome. There it is. Super cool knife. Yeah, the cracked ice. I can't show that on here, but I've showed y'all that one. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I hate not being able to show private Reddit groups, but y'all remember my buddy's videos.
Got my Chavez Redemption.
Whoops.
That green Chavez Redemption.
Hold on.
That green backspace.
All right. Yeah, y'all remember I showed y'all this, my buddy from Reddit that's got the cracked ice down. Pretty good, too.
Got my Chavez Redemption. That green backspacer. Got the cracked ice.
And he actually has a few more. Patrick D is his name. He's done actually a few of the cracked ice ones. Here's a Kunwu Primo.
All right.
Well, there was a Kunwu Primo.
Hey guys, tried some.
He's just trying all different kinds of new stuff. Yeah, there's the Primo with cracked ice. Mr. Patrick is a great older gentleman that into knives. He has a bunch of nice clones and nice real knives. Yeah, that looks pretty good on that Militol. Pretty cool treatment. Oh yeah, he did that one that's super cool too with the wood bark look. You know, there's a lot of guys that take Damascus and refinish it. So, you know, Damascus is done with heat. So you can take any knife that has a Damascus part on it, and you can sand it back to flat and then redo it with heat. And fix the colors. You can polish it up more and get the colors to pop better. We still talking about dogs? Check Tough Knives IG. All right, Mr. Nick. Close some windows here. Got too many browser windows open. Scav coming later this year. I like it. I like it. I like the finishes too. Morning, Mitchell. I wanted to go. I need to do something else. Yeah, those look pretty cool. I need to find Thomas McDonald's YouTube channel and see if he's got any videos on there. I don't even know. Oh, there he is. He does have some knives. Oh, he's got a knife playlist. He's got a couple of playlists. Maybe I can find him on Instagram or something. Beautiful looking family. Mr. Thomas McDonald, by the way, congrats on winning the giveaway. He's got a moto playlist and a knives playlist. So, motors and knives, can't go wrong. Let me give him a subscribe. Let me see if I type his name in and type in Instagram. If he comes up, not under that name. Those numbers. Tom McDonald. $4425. Hopefully I can figure out how to get a hold of him, or Waylon was the backup, right? What is this, Michael? I like Walter Sorrells. What's he talking about?
With another Knife Makers Friday 5. Today, some updates for Sorrells Tool. Hey guys, a lot's been happening here at Sorrells Tool. Now, some of you follow me pretty closely, and
yeah, I'm
you've been
following
noticing
him.
some of the changes. So
And,
I thought I'd, kind of satisfy your curiosity with a quick update. First, we'll be at the Blade Show 2026 next week. That's June 5th through the 7th. We're at booth 2507. That is literally the hardest booth to find in the entire show. It's a mammoth, giant hall, and there are actually two different, big rooms. We're in the smaller of those rooms and way over in the corner. So if you can't find us, just keep looking in that second room. We're going to be giving away a couple of bricks.
So they're in the little room.
I'm going to tell you about what's going on. I've seen him on a mixed blade machine, and they said, hey, can you? And so a knife, and you're scribing a little line down the center. It gives you a reference when you're grinding bevels so that you grind that bevel evenly. It's symmetrical one side to the other. I really like this design because, first off, it's just super compact. It's made exactly for this and nothing else. Sometimes people use height gauges. There's nothing wrong with height gauges, but a height gauge is made to be a height gauge. And it's not necessarily the ideal thing to make a center line with. This is just intended to make a center line. There are also some little ones. I don't have one sitting here, but they work by hand. You just kind of scribe them around while you're holding the knife. And they work okay, but if you've ever used one of those, when you get out to the tip, it's a real common problem to have that that center line kind of dive offline. And CNC machine, there's a lot of hand work after they come. CNC machine, I've got a Haas about that. Always there.
Yeah, I'll go back and watch this later.
Breaks down. I'm out of business until aluminum patterns here. Part of my kind of prototype development for this whole idea. There's a whole bunch more stuff involved in it, but the basic idea is that there'll be a whole bunch of different patterns available, and then kind of the approach that you take to the tooling and so forth is going to be universal across all that. Anyway, more about that in the future. So let me just wrap up with a couple other things that I've done. Some of you guys are interested in kind of what the texture of my day-to-day life is like. Last month, Alabama, for the Alabama Forge Council. It's an artist
blacksmithing. All right, yeah, cool. Yeah, I'll go watch that later, Michael. Thank you, sir.
Some of these new products that I'm
most everybody just uses a drill bit. So you can just whatever your blade stock is, you can get a matching drill bit, and you just lay them both on a flat surface, and the drill bit, the middle of the drill bit will be right in the middle of the blade stock that you're using. But you can just match a brand new drill bit that's got a good point on it. You just find a drill bit the same width as the blade stock. That's what I did. That's what most everybody does, is just use a drill bit, but having that tool would be awesome. All right. I'll have to make a post on my YouTube congratulating Thomas McDonald, because he comes in here quite a bit. And I would hate for him to show up like tomorrow contributing to the chat again and miss out on his win, but I don't mind if Mr. Whalen wins either. I was you can find centerline. You can buy these tools like I don't know what they're called. Those center finders on stuff. These right here are pretty cool. So they're super simple the way they work. centerline gauge, locator scribe. These are super simple the way they work. And you can put anything down through the middle. But like he said, on these, and they make all kinds of these things. Let's do a better search. Yeah, self-centering scribe, 2480. Put it on the blade and just run it back and forth. But once you get to the end, that one side is going to be off the blade. So that's the only problem. When you get out to the very end, I guess you could just twist it and do the other side, but you still can't get the very tip. Just the tip, just to see how it feels, just for a second. Man, I'm so excited about getting down to Blade Show this week. Tonight is my last night of work. I'm off for 10 days. Super happy about that. If y'all hadn't smashed that like button, I invite you to try that out. See if it works for you. Might not be working. Might need to test it. What else? What else? What else? Yeah, I carried this the rest of the night. It was on. I like the fact that it's got the Velcro and the snap, so you can take it off your belt without having to take your belt off. So I appreciated that. I was able to put it on and carry it. But man, this little thing is going to be a beast. I actually want to try dyeing the handles with the leather dye and see if it revigorates the handle there. I hope it's the Chavez Integral. There's only 2 of them I like, and if I don't get the first one, I might try for the second one. But I don't really have anything else that I just have to go to I don't have to leave with it. Oh yeah, it's rubbery. It's their cool no, it's whatever they use, but yeah, it's rubbery. Very grippy. Very nice. I forgot all right, Pete, I will check that video out. I just gave it a thumbs up so it'll show up on my list. $95 off. I've seen the best people sanding just use back and forth in a vise. With some kind of stabilizing, piece of wood in the middle. Something I was doing last night that worked really good. Since I work at a hotel, there's never a shortness of key cards.
So I took a key card and I put it in my sandpaper, and I used the stiffness of the key card to hold the sandpaper against the flats, so it wouldn't let the sandpaper go down on the blade. It added enough tension. But yeah, just hand sanding. I've done so many hours of hand sanding. It's ridiculous. And that's what I was trying to tell you, Pete. When you were talking about trying to get a finish back on a blade, I was like, somebody had to put that finish on there to begin with. All it takes is a little elbow grease and the right grits and the right technique. You should be able to become a master. But here's a piece of 600, so I put the card in there, and then I was able to just hit the flats. Here, I'll show you. I was able to use this, and I just sat there and rubbed back and forth for an hour. And I don't know if you can see that, but it's not hitting the blade. It's just on the flats. So any kind of stiffener in there will help you stay on the flats or whatever. I've put a lot, I've put mirror polish on a couple of knives, starting with like 80 grit and going all the way up to like 3,000 grit, and probably spent 3 or 4 hours on one blade. But you can really touch up your knives with some sandpaper and time, and you can get them looking really good. This one had a bunch of pits in it. I had to start at 120, and this one's got a hollow grind too. So the way I do a hollow grind, I don't put anything stiff in there, and I use my thumb, and I put my thumb right in the middle of the hollow grind and try to let it curve out, and you just do that enough, and you can fix any knife. But I use my thumb to like fill up the hollow grind. And let it conform down in there. Oh no, it takes forever. Hardened steel, it takes forever to even get it to show up. I mean, you literally have to spend hours when you're doing hand sanding on a hardened blade. Hardened steel, think about it, a file will skate right off of it. So the sandpaper is not going to do much damage to it at all. It's just going to work that surface. Yeah, having to go back down grits is the worst part about hand sanding. So you have to stick with a certain grit until you get it smooth at that grit, and then move up to the next grit. And trying to maintain, down the blade is what's worked best for me until you get to the end, I guess, and want to do like a hand satin or something. But I'm not even, this 600 grit is not even touching this blade. Yeah, clamp it to a flat surface where you can get a good back and forth motion. But, I'll sit here watching TV and, 45 minutes to an hour will pass. This one has some big places down in here that I gotta try to get out. But I used those Scotch-Brite to get it pretty good last night. I mean, I haven't worked anything but 120 grit. Yeah, you gotta go full step up to each grit, just like Mr. said. You have to get the surface completely finished at whatever grit you're using. And then you shouldn't see any lines, because all the lines should even out and be at that grit. Only time you see lines is when you haven't gone over the whole blade. Want to know why knives? Good morning, sir. But going back down, putting a scratch in it, and having to go back down to whatever grit you were at when you made the scratch sucks. Well, I was only 1 minute late when I thought I was going to be real late. I need to go edit the title of this video and fix it. I can do that right now. Let's see. Only 1 minute. Yay. Only 1 minute. All right. Just change the title of the video. I like the fact that you did the mod. And I like the fact that you like it. But it reminds me of the whole point of me having to reshape the blade on that unnamed, or whatever that knife got. Yeah, the unnamed. So it's got the same thing going on with it that the unnamed had. And that's that little crazy. It's got that going on. And if you remember correctly, I did edits where I was trying to cut that off and make it straight. So no, I don't. I think it was better the way it was without that. But you asked, but I am glad that you did it, and I'm glad that you like it. Don't ask Chip a question if you don't want to read his answer. Y'all should know that by now. Yeah, Pete, I totally respect the fact that you love it. Nothing wrong with it. No, I'm really happy that you're doing a lot more modding as of late. Seems like you've really gotten into it. And I love that. And trust me, whenever I say that I don't like something, y'all know that what I like is only what I like. And it doesn't make it right or wrong. It's just what I like. So I totally feel like everybody should be able to get whatever they like and do whatever they like. So no way am I throwing shade. But yeah, I'm just not the type to sugarcoat things. Never have been. Never will be. Think I've made it 50 years without doing that, so I doubt I'll change in the last 20 I got left. I've never made it try to sound like what I like is right and what somebody else likes, they're wrong, which is kind of what I get from a lot of people when I say that I like something and they're like, oh, you're stupid for liking that. And so I don't like that attitude. It's just like when I mentioned not minding wire clips. Everybody's like, oh, wire clips are the worst thing ever. And I'm like, well, okay. But I try not to make it sound like my opinions are in any way valid or the opinion. Yeah, Pete, you're never going to learn if you don't do it. And every time you mess up, you learn even more. I will go and show all that because I am very proud of your work. So let me show that real quick to everyone. I meant to do that a minute ago, but I was just blapping. I was actually lighting up a cigarette. Yeah, Cliff, and we just saw that earlier with that milled titanium Mr. That's one of the coolest wire clips I've ever seen. Where it's not really a wire clip, it's just a skeletonized milled titanium clip. It's even got the nice little ramps on the bottom. Like that's one of the coolest clips I've seen. Nick, I was not really lighting a cigarette, but anyway. All right, back to Pete's mod. So he just took it, used something round to put a nice curve on it, maybe a plate or a bowl upside down or a lid to something upside down or some stencils. And then he made it happen. And yeah, belt sanders are very aggressive. And then this is what it turned out like. There you go. Super cool. Good job, Mr. Pete. He free-handed it, duh. You are the artist, though. I don't have a bunch. I've got a couple. I've got the silicone ones that I use for electronics. Um, that work good because they don't like heat. I mean, they're good with heat.
I've got a couple of these that I use when I'm doing electronic work. These are pretty cool because, you know, silicone, you can get it to 600 degrees or something. And these are all pretty cool because some of them have magnets built in. But you can get these silicone ones on AliExpress for super cheap. And I have that NAF's blade shape mat. Whatever it is. I got that one. I've got the ones with the little doors on them, like these. Well, you can't see that one, but the one with the 3 little doors that fold. Yeah. So anyway, those are cool, but I got that one. Oversized mouse pad. What is your Flytanium Blade HQ one? Oh, yeah, those. I bet you got the Desert Warrior one too, don't you, Pete? No, I I know I've seen yours. Shop mats. They have a whole category for that. All right, then. Cheat Sheet Pro. That's pretty wild. And if y'all are ever looking, that chart is on the NAF's website. And if you just type in knife and blade shape, this printout right here will come up. And you can open it in a new tab and see them all at once. But that's an awesome little chart to have. In case you're wondering what shape a blade is and why I call a lot of drop points straight backs, because they are straight backs instead of a drop point. A lot of people include straight back into a drop point shaped blade. But after seeing this for a while, I call them what they are. And I prefer drop points, of course. But some of my drop points are straight backs. "17 degrees. Would I sharpen that? Man, my shaman has some great. I was like, why does my shaman have such good action? And it's because the pivot is a little bit loose. Good old Spyderco's, to get that good action, you got to loosen the pivot. That's better.
It is funny. It is a funny knife. It's got a weird blade. That's for sure. Put it into full black. See if it looks better over there. Put it next to Mr. Other Funny Blade. I think my Cobalt, my other knife that's like this one, might be out for delivery today. Oh, and the guy I bought that Knoll Raiden R2 from, do y'all remember that I told y'all it didn't come with a box? And that kind of made me mad because I was like, who gets rid of their who throws away their Raiden boxes? I mean, they're Knoll knife boxes. And so I messaged him after I got this knife, and I was like, dude, are you sure you don't have the box? I was like, I should have asked, but you didn't have the box? And so the dude actually messaged me like a day later and said, man, I screwed up. And I said, what do you mean you screwed up? I thought he meant he wanted the knife back, like he sold me a knife, and he didn't mean to sell it, and he wanted it back. But he was like, I found the box to the Raiden R2. And he says, I'm getting it in the mail to you today. So that was cool of him. But I've got all the boxes for all my other Knolls, so it was going to kind of make me a little... And another story. So y'all remember when I had those like 75 knives that I was selling in bundles of 4 and 5, and I sold like 50 something knives in a week because I was just basically giving them away? Well, that was like nearly a year ago. And one of the guys that messaged me during that time wanted to buy my Benchmade Claymore OTF. And so I talked to the guy, and he asked me about buying knives from OK Knives. And I sent him a ton of pictures of all the ones I had gotten and told him if he had any questions about any of them, I would answer it. Blah, blah, blah. So he ended up wanting to buy that OK Knives Benchmade, this knife right here. He wanted to buy it. I sent him a link to the video of it. What did I say it was? The Claymore. So this knife right here, I sent him a video of this short, and I told him he could have it for $15 plus like $6 or $7 shipping. So I charged him $22, and he knew everything about the knife, where it came from, where I bought it, showed him the video, and he paid $22 for it. So he made a post to sell some knives, and I messaged him about buying one. Now, granted, take this. This was a year ago that I sold this guy the knife. And I made an offer on a knife he was selling, and he basically said, I wasn't satisfied with our last deal, so I really don't want to do business with you. So my response to the guy was, what do you mean you weren't satisfied? Why didn't you say anything? I would have bought the knife back from you if you didn't like it. So evidently this guy bought a knife from me a year ago for $22 and has been stewing over it the whole year because he didn't like it, but yet he never mentioned it to me at all, never said a word to me, never gave me the chance to fix it or make him happy. But you kind of see that nowadays in life all around. People don't want to be made happy. They want to be able to stew and be mad. And that's just a sign of our society, which is sad. Because y'all know I would have made it right. So now I was like, man, if that's the kind of person you are, I don't even want to see your posts. So I blocked him on Reddit. But I didn't say anything. Like, I just blocked him. I can't deal with people that hold a year-long grudge and come at me like I did something wrong selling him a $22. I think I did throw in one response like, oh, a $22 Kubey Knives fake Benchmade clone wasn't great. And then I said, LOL, sorry. Like, I don't know what he expected it to be. I mean, he literally paid $22, which was $15 plus shipping, and saw a video of it beforehand. Like, I don't know. Whatever. I've stopped trying to understand people nowadays. Yeah, Andrew, you know that's what it was. Andrew knows exactly what it was. I don't go into details much, but I've made some enemies on Reddit, and I'm the talk of the town around certain cliques. So, yes, somebody got in his ear about, oh, that guy's an idiot. And so that's what did it all. But regardless of what did it all, it was still the fact that it happened. And I don't get into the click thing. I don't like it. I haven't done it since 8th grade. Probably didn't even do it then. In fact, I know I didn't do it then. But I might have had some kind of chess club clique or something. Latin club. Oh, it doesn't bother me a bit, Andrew, but it was just wild to hear from dude. I was like, what is he talking about? Like, I sold him a $22 fake Benchmade that he knew was a $22 fake Benchmade a year ago. And this dude's really coming at me like I don't want to do business with you because of that? I don't know. I actually Thrasher, not as Coppice. Yes, I was. I had a Haro Group 1 and a Haro Master. And also, not as Coppice was God when I grew up. Want to know why knives? Yeah, nobody wants a Benchmade for $300. Nobody wants one for $22 either, evidently. Yeah, I didn't have any nice boards. I had yeah, nobody cares if it's real. They're still overpriced.
Do y'all know what a FerraMonster was? In a group, these 1985. That was about the year of mine. I had that bike. Man, it was such a sweet bike. I wish I still had it, because look at the price. But the Haro Group 1 was a different bike. It was more for riding. Uh-oh. Group 1 CI 1987 Group 1 invert. Huh. Yeah, the Group 1 was for racing and the Master was for freestyle. Pawn shops? Yeah, I don't do pawn shops anymore. Oh, you had a GT dyno? Yeah, I know what a dyno was. Dynos were awesome too. Some of my friends had dynos. I had dyno mag wheels on one of my bikes. I think it was on a Diamondback, actually. Super Goose. Knife Mom had a Super Goose. Super Goose. Mongoose. Nice. There it is. The Huffy Sigma was a poor kid's grail bike. Ha ha ha. What about those? I remember those too. I remember that, man. I had one of those with those wheels. I got one of those for Christmas one year, but it had to be that Huffy Sigma. But they were cheap back then, right? Man, it had to be that bike. Wow, that's pretty wild. I totally forgot about that. Actually, I don't know that it was this one because I don't remember the 4000, and I seem to remember them attaching together differently. They probably had a different, cheaper one with those solid wheels. What about the airfoil? Holy cow. Look at that Vortex. We were doing it big back in the 80s, boy. Yeah, Dave Mirra was the man. Switchback. Yeah, that was a cool knife. Love that blade. Love that hollow grind. That's a sweet knife. Good find, Nick. I'll give that a heart so I can find it again. It's just got the blade hole, right? It's just like my A-lock, but with the blade hole. I've got a, oh, the button might be a little different too. Yes. You want to see mine? I forgot I even bought one. Where did I put my Ashers? They're up here now. Where is my A-lock? I thought it came in a box, but it might have came in a pouch. I guess it did come in a pouch. There's the Nomad crossbar lock. There's another crossbar lock. I think I've got 9 Ashers now. There's the horn clip. Yeah, here it is. The button is different. I forgot. I hadn't looked at this knife since I got it. Probably. This is the V1. It's a pretty sharp looking knife too. And it works great. It's got a good sound too. Of course, y'all can't hear that today, but and I like the little fuller. You can't, whoops. I say you can, but you got to actually get familiar with the knife before you can do it every time. It's a cool little knife, though. All right. Well, everyone, we officially just hit the 2-hour mark. So I got to end this one down because there's other streams coming up. But congratulations to Thomas McDonald and Waylon if he doesn't show up. And Mr. Andrew. We'll start out by looking at Scorpion 6 tomorrow. Mr. Nick. It doesn't look like I've ever looked at it because the link is not purple. And probably not my style, but pretty wild looking. There's one of them in the middle there. Anyway, love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Yeah, they are pretty funky, Nick. If y'all need me, hit me up in my email. I was 1 minute late, so we can go over by 1 minute, huh? We've actually been going for two hours and 2 minutes. Thank y'all for being here again today. We will do it again tomorrow, and I will be off for 10 days starting tomorrow. So that's awesome. We'll leave for Blade Show on Wednesday after the stream. And, yeah. Blade Show end of the week. So should be a good week as far as knives go. Yeah, and like Pete said, tap that like button on your way out. Should have at least 20. There's still 20 people watching.